I see it says someone's waiting to enter the room. Do I admit them or do I let you do that?
I'll try to let
I
people
see it
in
says
without that.
someone's waiting to enter the room. Sorry, you're gonna hear echo for me. Sorry, my bad about that. All right, you said you're gonna let them in around 7.
Yeah, I'll try to let them in around 7.
All right.
Hey everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Everyone, I'm trying to get you unmuted here for a minute. Hello.
When everything's ready, just let me know.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I am ready.
Okay. Okay, anytime you're ready, you can start.
All right. Just so I can be aware, because I was reading the description about this again. This is for people who are trying to get rid of or cut down on their tobacco and nicotine usage. Correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, question. Am I able to see the chat to where I can like ask people questions and get their response and feedback?
Yes, you should be able to do that.
All right. I'm trying to see. All right. I see the option for the chat window. All right. I got it open. All right. So pretty much today we're gonna be working on some breath work. Going through the pranayama, which is the first initial practice within yoga and the yogic meditations. If y'all have any questions, just ask in the chat. I'll try to get to them as fast as possible and thoroughly. Now, since this is the first class, I always start off with the breath work for a few weeks, and the reason for that is so people can understand how it feels to breathe properly. Now, in regards to you using your breath is gonna help you. It's gonna help you process not just oxygen in your system, but actions and things going on throughout your day. Because if you're taking a full breath, it gives your brain a little bit more time to process everything, a bit more oxygen to flow into it, versus if you're taking a shortened breath. Now, it's very known that people who take shortened breaths, they happen to have more irritability symptoms and things like that because they're not breathing as full as possible, which means they're not getting as much oxygen into their body as they possibly can. Now, I'm gonna ask this to the people who are attending the class and everything. How many of y'all are like pretty much like smokers? And that doesn't mean you're chain smoking a pack a day, but you may be smoking 1 or 2 cigarettes whenever you get stressed out about something. So I'm gonna give y'all some time to answer that real quick, just so I can have an understanding, because that's gonna be the main thing going into it. Now, if you're smoking a pack a day, this still will work for you, but you have to moderate the way you cut down on things. So, how many of y'all are like the kind of smokers that smoke because you're stressed out about something and you need something to take the edge off for a moment? All right, cool.
Do you want us to type it? Type it on the chat?
Yeah, you can type it on. Oh, if you can hear, if you speak back to me, speak back to me. That works the same way.
Either way.
Yeah, I'm one of those that just smoke a cigarette or two when I'm stressed out.
All right. To the person who doesn't smoke, it's perfectly fine. These techniques can be used regardless, because the idea of it is you're using this to help sedate and relax your body. The idea of a relaxed body allows you to be able to function better, function faster, function more efficiently. So we got one person who does and two people who don't, which is perfectly fine. All right, I'm gonna sit back a little bit. As I sit back, there's gonna be some physical cues that I'm doing with the breath, and with the breath, there are physical cues that our body naturally does. So the thing is, as you're breathing, you want to bring yourself to the awareness of doing this through every breath. Now, not in every position that we sit in or are in throughout our days can we take this full breath, but it's a mechanical thing. So you want to try to feel your body move through these certain motions as you're breathing every day. And the thing is, the slower you take your breath, the more in depth you'll feel how the air is actually filling the body and traveling into the lungs, traveling through the diaphragm as it compresses and expands. So the first part always starts with the belly. So if you're comfortable enough with it, taking your right hand or left hand, whichever one's your dominant side, placing it onto your navel right above your belly button. And what you're going to do is just clear your lungs first. Just completely clear them out. You're going to take a deep breath in. Slowly release. So mechanically right there, what we're looking for is a movement to occur in the belly. If that movement begins to occur in the belly, as in the belly expands out with the breath, and then it contracts in as you release, that's the mechanical function we're looking for. The thing about this is whenever you're feeling your belly move with the breath, you're actually taking a full breath, because you have 3 parts of your breath, the belly being one, the rib cage being the second, and the upper chest being the third. Now these postures I'm using are just so you can feel how your body is expanding through each motion of the breath. We're going to do about 4 breaths at the belly, then make our way up. And the reason for that is because we usually make our way down with breath. Because we breathe in through the nostrils, it goes down to the lungs, through the upper chest, into the lungs, and then the diaphragm either expands or contracts, depending on which action of the breath is doing. It's going to contract as we release and expand as we inhale. And with the expansion, that's where you get the movement of the belly from. So placing your hand into your belly, let your lungs clear out for a moment. In your mind, just bring yourself to something that you enjoy. Bring yourself to a joyful thought, something that you are intrigued by, that always will bring a gentle smile to yourself. You're going to take a deep breath in through the nostrils. And you're going to hold for a moment. Slowly release. 3 more times. Take a deep breath in through the nostrils. With the hand on the belly, you should feel the belly press into the palm gently. Slowly release. Take a deep breath in. Slowly release. Deep breath in. Slowly release. We'll take 1 more breath in at the belly. Hold for 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And then slowly release. So as we're taking the breath into the belly, what we're doing is taking the full breath universally all the way around. People who have been in choir, band, playing woodwind instruments, brass instruments, they generally have an understanding of doing this because they're always applying it through those practices. Now, going into some ideals of meditation, meditation isn't just sitting in a room by yourself. Meditation can be you manifesting something. It can be you creating something. So the idea of what we're going to be working towards is understanding what urges we're gaining, using the breath to isolate and control that thought, which the urge is, and then manifesting it into something else. So through this practice with me through Zoom and H.C.C, we're going to work on the mental aesthetic of it. Now, when it comes to you independently by yourself, if you got time and you enjoy art, as in like you may be a sculptor or you know how to draw, or even if you can write, you can use those tools as meditations. Because meditation isn't just the idea of sitting in a room with a candle lit, burning incense, and stuff like that. That's just one perspective of the millions of types of meditations that there are. And then whenever you're just sitting in, checking in through your breath, that's the beginning for each of these meditations. If that makes sense. Does that make sense to everyone? Alright, cool. So initially everything starts with the breath, even when it comes to physical movement. If we're breathing properly, we're able to move properly. So the same logic applies to whenever you're going into your meditations. It could be a movement meditation, a brisk walk through the park, people who run. If you want to be physical or more physical about it, doing some type of calisthenic exercise or even doing weight training. Those are still different types of meditations that go into it. So we start off with the breath, and then from the breath we figure out how we want to manifest or what we want to manifest in this time of meditation. So we've already entered the belly, into the lower region of the body. We're taking full breaths already, starting at the belly. Now we're going to the rib cage. Keep in mind to take the full breath to the belly. So whenever you take a breath, you feel the belly move with each inhale, expanding out, and then contract backwards towards the spine. So the navel is going to come back towards the spine gently. So we're going to the rib cage, and what you're going to do, you're going to give yourself a gentle hug. And when I say a gentle hug, you're giving yourself a hug, placing your hands at your rib cage. And then the mechanical function we're looking for with the breath here is the expansion of the rib cage like an accordion. So as you take a deep breath in, you should feel the lungs expand in the rib cage, gently expand out. And as you release, you should feel the rib cage contract back in. Note mechanically, as we breathe into the belly, as we breathe into the rib cage, this is a three-dimensional function. So we're paying attention to the lateral side, but note there is a side for the front, as in your chest is expanding up, as well as your back. Your back is expanding out with each breath as well. So we're going to go back to the breath at the rib cage. We're going to do 3 more breaths. After these 3 breaths, then we're going to move to the upper chest. The upper chest being right at the clavicle, where the clavicle and the acromion process meet. So we're going to place our hands there next. So right now we're still at the rib cage. Place your hands at the rib cage. We're going to do 3 more breaths at your pace. Starting the first breath and slowly releasing. Remember, deep breath in through the nose. Hold. Then slowly release. Deep breath in through the nose. Hold. And slowly release. One more time. Deep breath in through the nose. Hold. Slowly release. Now, as you take the breath out the rib cage, you should feel all the expansion going in. Remember to always cue into the belly when you're breathing. You never want to forget about the belly as you breathe. We've done the rib cage, now we're going up to the upper chest. We understand the mechanic of the breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, or exhaling through the nose, whichever is most comfortable. But you want to inhale through the nose so we get the maximum amount of airflow. As we get into different styles of breathing meditations, we're going to go into breathing from different perspectives, as in oral breathing using the mouth whenever you're going to cooling breath, or using a more rapid breath to get more of an activation from the muscles, more of an activation from the oxygen itself into the body. All right, now we're just taking it easy, starting with step